know something about your
Don't
son.
do that. Don't do that.
Hey, man, take your hands off me. Hey, man, take your hands off me. I'm doing it.
Scrap, you rock for this. You rock
I was
for
trying
this.
to, I was going head on. I was born to
You rock for this.
you trying to tell me about my mother kid. And I go hard on you.
What's wrong with him, though?
I don't buck on women.
Why
She's trying to say something about my kid. I don't do that. I get it, my baby mama. I get it, everybody. I get it, my own mom about a
But you
kid.
gotta know when you're wrong, though,
I'm not wrong about my kid.
You're wrong.
About what?
About Bam. You gotta calm the down.
I'm calm. Let's go outside.
Bam do witchcraft, in case people don't know.
The morning sun hung low over the city of Atlanta, casting a golden hue across the streets as they buzzed with life. It was just another typical day, but for Lil Scrappy, something was off. His phone buzzed again, a steady rhythm of notifications. Scrappy, always plugged into the pulse of social media, glanced at his screen. At first, it was just another rumor, another story floating through the gossip blogs. But as Scrappy's eyes skimmed over the words, his heart sank. It was an interview with his ex, Mena. The headline screamed, Mena takes aim at Lil Scrappy's mother in latest interview. He felt a knot tighten in his chest. Scrappy wasn't one to care much for drama, but when it came to his family, especially his mother, he drew a hard line. Momma Dee had always been a complicated figure in the public eye, someone who'd raised Scrappy through the toughest of times. She had been his rock, his foundation. Yet, despite her larger-than-life personality and often wild antics, no one, not even his ex, was going to disrespect her. Scrappy leaned back in his chair, a storm beginning to stir inside him. The interview had been recorded only hours before it hit the headlines. Erica, sitting comfortably in a studio chair, didn't seem to think twice about the words she was about to speak. When the subject of Momma Dee came up, Erica laughed off her behavior, throwing out words like crazy and embarrassing. She made snide comments about the way Momma Dee carried herself, claiming that it was a reflection of Scrappy's upbringing. But that wasn't what cut the deepest. Erica went further. She suggested that Scrappy's mother was toxic and insinuated that the dysfunction in their family was all her fault. To Erica, Momma Dee wasn't just a loud, eccentric woman. She was a problem, a source of the drama that Scrappy had struggled to escape. Scrappy's hand tightened around his phone, his grip slowly starting to crack. The words hit harder than any diss track could. How dare she? How could she go so far? Speak so recklessly about a woman who had given everything for him, for their family. He had always tried to keep things civil with Erica. He had been the one to push for peace, to make sure their daughter Imani had the chance to grow up in a healthy environment despite their differences. But now, Erica had crossed a line, and there was no going back.
You letting everybody in your business way. Because Bam did it. Bam told all her friends something, and they went and spreaded it, and they talking. You feel me?
Bam talks? What about your mother? How much?
No, you talking about my mama? I'll tell you something about your son real quick. I know something about you. Don't do that. Hey, girl, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Just what it is.
Hey, what about your son, girl? What about your son?
What about my son?
Your oldest son.
Scrappy stood up abruptly, pacing around the living room, his mind racing. Bambi, his fiancée, had just stepped out to run some errands, leaving him alone with his thoughts. He could feel the rage bubbling inside him, the kind of fury that only came when someone attacked his blood, his roots. His mother had been there for him through everything, through the struggles of growing up in the streets of Atlanta, through the pain of his early relationships, and through every triumph and failure in his career. No one, especially Erica, was going to tear down the woman who had raised him. He sat down on the couch, staring at the screen, the words of Erica's interview still lingering in his mind. His chest tightened as he replayed the insults in his head. His fingers twitched, itching to respond. He knew what he had to do. He had to stand up for his mother. But Scrappy wasn't one to let things slide. He had a temper. And when that temper flared, it wasn't just words that came out. It was an eruption of emotions, an unleashing of everything he'd kept buried for too long. The decision was made. Scrappy grabbed his phone and began typing furiously. He didn't hold back. The words were raw, filled with anger and frustration. His message to Erica wasn't just a rebuttal, it was a declaration. He posted it, letting the world see exactly how he felt. I'm tired of letting people disrespect my mama. You crossed the line, Erica. My mother raised me right. She's been there for me in ways you'll never understand. You want to talk crazy about her? Nah, not today. You don't get to tear down the person who gave me life. Keep my family's name out your mouth. If you've got something to say, come see me. He hit send, his heart pounding in his chest. The message wasn't just about defending Momma Dee, it was about protecting what was his family, his honor, his legacy. And in that moment, Scrappy knew that there was no going back. Social media exploded as fans and critics alike weighed in on the heated exchange. Some sided with Scrappy, supporting his fierce loyalty to his mother. Others, however, sided with Erica, calling Scrappy too quick to anger. But none of that mattered to Scrappy. He wasn't doing this for the likes or the attention. He was doing it because Erica had crossed a line that in his world couldn't be uncrossed.
Why these men in this generation don't ride for us the way it's supposed to when they wife? When you're a wife, why they can't ride for you? So is that why you don't want to pay child support?
Oh my God.
That's making me sick.
You can go. You can go.
That's making me sick that y'all not.
That night, as Scrappy sat alone in his thoughts, he couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal. He wasn't angry at Erica for the comments. He was angry at the way she had disrespected his mother, a woman who had done nothing but fight for her family. And in that fury, something inside him clicked. He realized that the battle wasn't just about one person's words. It was about standing firm in his identity, in his love for those who mattered most to him. As the dust began to settle, Scrappy found himself facing a hard truth. Sometimes you have to let people go. And when it came to Erica, their relationship had already been through too much to repair, but his loyalty to his family, his mother, his fiancée, and his daughter was something he would never apologize for. In the end, it wasn't about the fight, it was about standing tall in the face of disrespect and refusing to let anyone tear down the people you love. It was another whirlwind day in Atlanta, where the drama never stopped and surprises were always just around the corner. But for Bambi and Lil Scrappy, this particular day held a different kind of excitement, one that would change their lives forever. For months, Bambi had been living her life, balancing the ups and downs of motherhood and marriage to Scrappy. Their relationship had seen its fair share of challenges, from the complications with their blended family to navigating the complexities of public life. It often felt like their love was constantly under scrutiny, but despite it all, they had built a strong foundation. They were partners, parents, and best friends, and through the storm, they had always found a way back to each other. However, Bambi had been holding on to something that would rock their world, and it wasn't something Scrappy could have expected. As much as they had faced the highs and lows together, this new chapter was one she hadn't yet shared with him. It was something deeply personal, something she was still trying to fully process herself, and today, she was ready to let it all out. Bambi sat on the couch in their cozy living room, the soft glow of the afternoon sun filtering through the windows. Scrappy walked in, his usual confident swagger tempered by the exhaustion of a long day. He smiled at his wife, his eyes lighting up as they exchanged a brief but tender look. They had always had a special bond, a kind of unspoken understanding that no matter the struggles, they were in this together. But today, Bambi seemed different. There was a quiet tension in her demeanor, a softness to her presence that Scrappy couldn't quite place. He could sense she was about to tell him something important, but even with all the years they had been together, nothing could have prepared him for what she was about to reveal. With a deep breath, Bambi finally broke the silence. She reached for his hand, her fingers trembling slightly as she held it, grounding herself in the moment. Scrappy watched her, his curiosity piqued, but still unaware of the weight her words would carry. "I have something to tell you," Bambi began, her voice steady but filled with an emotion Scrappy couldn't yet identify. "And I need you to hear me out before you say anything." Scrappy nodded, his brows furrowing as he tried to read her face. He could tell she was serious, her words weighed down with a mix of excitement and vulnerability. He squeezed her hand, urging her to continue. "I'm pregnant," Bambi finally said, her words hanging in the air like a bombshell. She didn't wait for his immediate reaction, instead watching his expression shift from confusion to disbelief and then to something deeper. Joy, fear, love, and maybe a hint of surprise, all wrapped into one. For a moment, Scrappy stood frozen. His mind raced to catch up with the words that had just been spoken. Pregnant again? He hadn't seen this coming. After all, the couple already had their hands full with their son, and balancing their busy lives and careers wasn't always easy. But the shock soon faded, replaced by a wave of emotion that overwhelmed him. "Are you serious?" Scrappy asked, his voice thick with disbelief, the smile creeping onto his face despite himself. He leaned closer to her, as if searching for confirmation. Bambi nodded, her eyes brimming with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. "Yeah, I just found out. I've been feeling different lately, and I went to the doctor. It's true." She paused, searching his face for any sign of how he would take the news. I didn't know how to tell you, but I couldn't keep it from you any longer. The moment hung in the air between them. Scrappy blinked a few times, his mind processing the information. This wasn't just a revelation, it was a life-changing announcement, one that would shift the course of their future once again. Scrappy's hands gently cupped her face, his expression softening as the gravity of the moment finally sank in. "You're gonna be a mother again," he whispered, a grin slowly spreading across his face. "And I'm gonna be a daddy again."